Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Mess Toys 112 action figure black suit neighbor. I didn't really even pay attention to what they were calling it. Honestly, I opened the box and everything, and I forgot they called it black suit neighbor. Oh man, so anyway, this is an interesting review because the last thing I reviewed like this was the CT Toys Wolverine, and I said, you know what, it's a good bootleg, but it is still a bootleg, so ethical questions are there, and also it's really low quality. Good for a bootleg, but low quality. A lot of people just got furious with me because it's so much cheaper than the official Mafex, and it's not that bad and everything. I'm like, you know what, that's fine. If you like owning low quality figures that are cheap, that's your prerogative. I would rather overpay for a higher quality product. That was my argument, basically. And then the whole ethical thing, of course, is there too. I don't like stolen property. Anybody who's ever created anything can probably relate. But this is a third-party figure, so they stole the rights to make the character, but they didn't steal the figure. It is their design for the figure, which I am much more comfortable with. The rights thing is still questionable, obviously, but this is more of a gray area, at least, than stealing a whole figure and just making a bootleg. It is a third-party figure rather than a bootleg, which is why it's Mess Toys rather than CT Toys. I got this on Gundam for about 40 bucks. I think I had store credit or points or whatever for buying other things, so I got it cheaper. But it's probably cheaper on AliExpress. I don't know. You guys can look for that. But this is it. I'm going to review it. Much better than that Wolverine figure. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. It's a nice package for a third-party figure other than saying black suit neighbor. It's just so funny to me. It looks fine. Like, the printing is clean enough. It's good. It's got the spider logo wrapped around it, and that is it. So, it's funny. The Mess Toys, it looks like they took the font that Hero Toys was using. Or Medi, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's just a plain box. But here it is, and I have to say, it's way, way, way better than the Wolverine. I don't know if it's just because it's one of their Revoltech-based designs, or because it's not an actual bootleg they had to actually try, which makes sense to me, and you wouldn't know that this was a bootleg, or a third-party figure, I mean. That Wolverine was, it had bootleg written all over it. It was not a high-quality figure, and some people said, well, mine looked better than yours. Okay, I can only review the one I have. Same thing with this. I've heard bad stories about this figure coming that's just, he's falling apart and all kinds of stuff. I don't know if that's true. Of course, I haven't experienced it. I can only review what I have, and this one is nice. Alright, so like I said, you can get them in different places. I don't know, they go in and out of stock all the time. I got mine at Gundam. I don't get anything for saying that, but that's where I got mine, and it was like 40 bucks after shipping, but I got a discount because of points I had, just to clarify everything. He's just shy of 6.5 inches. That's going to make him roughly a little over 16 centimeters. Here he is up against Darwin. He could easily be mixed in with your Marvel Legends collection. Now, he is all black, so I'm hoping you guys can actually see what's happening in the video, but I guess we'll find out. First thing I noticed about this guy is the paint's clean enough. It's not perfect, and that's like one of the arguments people make. Well, it's not perfect on regular figures either. I know that. I get it, but it's still the case here. It doesn't matter what other companies are doing. The paint is not perfect. It's definitely good enough. On the front of his chest, the black and white line work is not perfect, but it's fine. The eyes, again, not perfect, but okay. This eye's got a lot of scratching on it. It's okay. On the back, it's not as good. We have some fuzzy spots, but it's not terrible. It's not bad at all. It is certainly acceptable, especially for 40 bucks. I mean, granted, it should be cheap because they're third-party figures, but for 40 bucks, it's definitely fine. The paintwork on the hands is fine, too. And then the whole thing has a matte finish, which I love. I love that it has a matte finish. That's making it harder to film, actually, but it looks so nice. So nice. I'm pretty sure the official Revoltech is going to be glossy AF, as the kids say these days. I hate that. I wish I didn't say it. It looks nice, though, in the matte finish. It makes it feel much more premium. So yeah, and the sculpt is nice. It's not a Revoltech sculpt. It is basically like the Revoltech Spider-Man just smoothed out, but they had to make this because this does not exist as a Revoltech. So it is their own design, and that makes me happy. because it's not stolen and because it looks good. And actually, they did a really good job with the engineering, which we'll get to later. I mean, it works like a Revoltech, but it works, so that's nice. But yeah, it looks good. So I'm very happy with it for 40 bucks. I don't think anybody's going to complain if they get one that looks like this. Again, I heard consistency is a problem, but I can't speak to that personally. So I'm going to go 9 out of 10. It looks really good for the aesthetic, 9 out of 10. Now, as far as accessories go, I'm actually really pleased with this. I'll start with the thing I don't personally care about. I don't like these kinds of stands because they take up too much space and visual attention. That's the only kind I guess you would have. They take up too much attention on the shelf. But if you like stands like this, he gets a pretty nice bendy stand with the logo on it, which is painted well enough. I mean, like, it's pretty good. It's better than nothing. I would still prefer a clear acrylic one, but you get that, so that's awesome. And then as far as the regular accessories, you get the big eyes head, you get the little eyes head. That's awesome. That's your Secret Wars look, basically. You get a bunch of hands. They all look pretty nice. And then you get the hands with the holes in the top, so you can shoot your straight webs or your V-shaped webs out of the hands. Yeah, it's like, there's nothing wrong with this. This is a good spread of accessories. Like I said, I would prefer a different stand, but this is actually more valuable, so can't really fault him for it. So 9.5 out of 10. Really, really nice. For 40 bucks, you're getting plenty here. This is a great pickup so far. But can it actually pose? Because a lot of third-party figures, or especially bootleg figures, they're sloppy and floppy or too tight and they break and they have all kinds of problems. So let's see. Now keep in mind, this is essentially a Revoltech figure, so we do still have the ugly shoulders. Granted, being on all black, it's hard to notice, and certain things like that. But let's see if it works. The head moves around nicely on top of the neck. Maybe not as nicely as it could, but definitely enough. And then the neck does move around really well. You do get that big old gap in there, but and it does tend to want to like stick on top of the chest, so you have to tuck it in as you move it around. But it does move pretty well. Maybe not as good as it could, but definitely good enough. So that's nice. And then the shoulders, unfortunately, they work just like Revoltech. They go all the way up. You do get the ugly Revoltech thing, and of course you have the ball peg at the end of the joint, but that does allow you to bring the arm across the chest. It allows you to bring the arms back. I mean, it is a full-on Revoltech figure. And before we go down the arm, let's do the butterfly. It goes all the way up like that. So if you wanted to bring both of his arms up, he could definitely do the bodybuilder pose. And then it goes pretty far back too. Like, it works nicely. If you would not know that this is a third party or a bootleg, it just seems like a Kyoto figure. Do they still have Kyoto in their name? I think they do. Yeah, it works. It definitely works. The butterfly is nice. So far, everything's nice and stiff. That's what she said. Even the ball peg up here is not too sloppy. Like, there's some play in it, obviously, but it doesn't feel loose. The bicep swivel up here started off stuck, but then it just moves fine. No issue. It's still at an angle like Revoltech does, but it works like a Revoltech, so that's good. No complaints. The elbow, pretty nice. That's the deep bend. They didn't do the thing. Like, I mean, I guess they did it a little bit, where you can dislocate the elbow to get a tighter bend, but you get only a tiny bit, and it looks good, even like both ways. So they did a really nice job with the elbow. And then, of course, you get your rotation here as well. So that's good, and this will rotate at the forearm as well if you want. The wrists, little ball hinges as is usual. The hands don't fall off too easily. That's actually an upgrade over Revoltech norms. So that's awesome. And then for the torso, that's how you do it. Ball pegs are the way, that's the way to do it. It has great range all the way around on the ball peg there. Down here, same thing, ball peg, so he can lean back nicely. It does get gappy at the extreme, but he does lean back really well, and he leans forward really well. And everything is really stiff so far. Not in a problematic sort of way, just it's a very stiff, which is good, figure. I don't feel any binding though, so that's good. Now the hips, unfortunately, they didn't really upgrade the hips. They are still Revoltech style hips. Get a little bit of a dangly bit situation going on, and the trunk is still really long, as Revoltech tends to look like, but they go out to the side pretty well. And going forward, I mean, you still have the offset swivel here that you have to use to make the legs do what you want them to do. And then, of course, you can do whatever you want them to do, but it's really a nuisance to pose Revoltech hips. I hate it. It's one of the least pleasant things I think I ever get to do on decent quality figures. So yeah, you're gonna have to fight with the hips to get them to do what you want, but just trying to move it like a normal action figure is a nuisance, the way they do their crooked ball pegs in there. but it works like a Revoltech. So if you're familiar with those at all, you can definitely make it happen. All right, so yeah, you get the crooked thigh swivel, the single jointed knee, just like Revoltech's. We have the weird little knee pad thingy that sticks out, which is, I think, nobody's preference, but it's there. But you get decent range, like it's a good bend. So that's that. I don't know why they did that. Like, that's the one thing I don't think I've ever heard anybody defend on Revoltech unless it's an armored figure. You don't need that, but they left it. But yeah, you get good range. It's not loose. There's no problem there. Same thing down here. It functions. It rotates and has the hinge, so that's fine. And the ankle, it could be a tighter joint, but it's not loose. You get decent range. It doesn't have like any ball peg or offset or anything like that, but it just has decent range. Ankle rocker works perfectly. And then the toe hinge is well enough placed, but they did the thing where you get lumps. So you never want lumps like that, but it's there, I guess, and you can make it work, but it's not great. So yeah, is it a perfect figure? No. I said is it twice. No, it's still like kind of an unrefined Revoltech in some ways, but in other ways it's a more refined Revoltech. So I'm just going to call that a wash and say 9 out of 10 for posability. It's pretty darn good. It works like a Revoltech for the most part, and not having the hands fall off is great. I wish the head was a little bit better situated, but once you get them in a dynamic pose, it's fine, and that's really what Revoltechs are for, so that's fine by me. And then the toes suck. I should probably take off a half a point for that, but you can decide for yourself. So yeah, this is a really good release. It is a third-party figure, not a bootleg figure, and they should probably stick. Well, I mean, they're making money, so they can do whatever they want, of course. But ethically, they should stick to third party at least, I think. And especially since it's actually a figure I would be happy to have in my collection. There's nothing wrong with this. You would not know there were questionable practices at play. That Wolverine just looks like crap compared to real products. Even if the real products are overpriced, I don't want crap in my collection, no matter how cheap it is. That's how I look at it. If you don't look at it that way, that's fine. But this guy, definitely a worthy pickup. I will give him a 9.5 out of 10. Not a perfect figure, but for $40, this is the best Black Suit Spider-Man in my collection. So, Black Suit Neighbor. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. There's a lot of things to have opinions on in this video, so we can talk about it down there. But that's it for me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.